It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off. Bells hells after arriving on Ruidus and sneaking, sometimes successfully, sometimes not so much, across the surface amongst a few waypoints of civilization here on the surface of the Red Moon of Ill Omen, you eventually came to the city of Kreveris, or what you've come to know as Kaluma Kreveris, the top-facing surface city, which seems to be to various levels of destitution and militaristic presence. But in search of the Volition, you managed to get into a small scuffle in a street, but managed to cover your tracks rather rapidly. You then, through some information that you had gathered from some locals and some keen eyes, found your way to the Jagged Edge Glassworks. There you met with Zesh, and Jado looks to be the true purveyor of the establishment, who then stepped out to leave Zesh some time to speak with you. You convinced them that you are no ally to the Vanguard, though you wear their colors, and that your intent was to find information in hopes of eventually helping the Volition. You went to take a rest in the subterranean basement of the Jagged Edge, and towards the end of this rest, you began to hear footsteps above and were told to keep quiet as the entryway to this basement was closed. Laudna, you cast a sphere of darkness within to plunge it into a void-like absence of light. And you all sit there in the quiet, listening. And you hear a voice kind of poke out like it's halfway through a conversation.
Yeah. We've come to collect something.
And then no more conversation. And it's odd, you begin to realize this is a group of conversing individuals, but only some of them telepathically communicating. You're catching bits and pieces of information. Another one goes,
Round here somewhere. We gotta make good. Right vengeance. If we're losing them.
Another one says,
I mean, we can talk to each other, right? Because we're mentally connected too. Yes.
the voice again like creeps in like later.
3 of us dead.
Oh.
Someone's gotta pay.
Can I tell roughly how many
What they're
are
thinking.
walking above us?
You hear 6 sets of footsteps.
Okay.
And
6.
this odd kind of like a low growl. It's almost cute, almost like a...
New sound to me.
It sounds weirdly familiar.
We're in complete darkness, right?
Yes, you are.
So I'm just gonna go around and just touch my friends. Sorry, with consent, just to make sure I know where everybody is. I'm also gonna sympathetically bond myself to Ashton, Orem, Chetney, and Lausa.
It's about here that you hear out of the silence upstairs that voice ring out and be like,
I agree. Maybe we go ahead and just have a look around.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking shit.
Just in case.
What do we do if they come down?
and you hear some of the footsteps begin to separate, and you begin to hear that new sound that you didn't recognize before, almost like a grinding or something sifting, like a.
I can lock the hammer between 2 of the steps, so if they come down, they'll trip.
Ooh, that's cool.
Ooh, that's cool.
Ting, 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 ting. Up above, they're kind of like moving furniture. You can now hear the steps above you.
It's coming.
Okay. What is that noise?
Get ready. Everyone against the wall.
Please don't find us.
So what's the plan?
I mean,
I think we're sitting tight.
Sitting
Backing up against the wall.
Getting ready to rumble.
Open it up.
Really.
Just in case.
Feels like
Just in case, let me go ahead and set up a little visual so we know at least where everyone's set up.
Can you put the hammer? Could you put the hammer like through a latch on thing so they can't get the latch open?
That is a small space.
That is a teeny,
Yeah, that's way too
little.
tiny.
So Matt, I climbed up and I'm going to take my immovable rod and latch it through the handle on this side.
It slides in smoothly and without any sound. Shortly after you get that into place, you hear the rustling of metal on metal, and then you hear and that same shifting sound again, and the voice goes,
Is it locked? Open it!
Guys.
I said, open it!
and you hear
Oh god. They're gonna fuck up the owners.
Yeah.
and there's just quiet again.
That's not a good answer.
Yep.
I'll unlatch the thing.
Okay. You hear the sound of someone getting up and futzing with it again, and then it
I crawl back down into the darkness.
pulls open, and you all hear the footsteps curve around the front.
What do you see? What do you see?
What the hell?
What do I see?
You glance up inside, and you see
It's so horror movie.
the bottoms of 2 feet and the edges of what looks to be one of those tall, furry, kind of gray and white-haired entities that is dressed in similar armor as to the other sentinels you saw of Kreveris.
The like
you had fought earlier.
Sasquatch-esque.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see just like from the waist down from your vantage point, and you see it kind of like snaps its fingers, and it carries over a lantern, one of those like weird glass blue orb lanterns that is kind of just lighting up.
What the hell?
Unsettling presence.
Okay. It takes like 2 steps back. It's like a loud whistle sound. And you hear that's weird shifting sound. And you watch as a familiar looking creature slithers around the edge, its singular central eye and its massive tooth-covered jaw. Those creatures that you saw frenzy feeding in the middle of the dust. It looks like there's one that's been trained and domesticated by this figure. That
Kind of cute.
comes up to the edge. It like points down. And it like bounds down the ladder. What are you all doing?
It's down here with us?
It is down here with you.
Does it seem like it's seen us?
It kind of stumbles off the edge of the ladder. It is right in front of you.
Okay.
It doesn't see you, and it's interesting because the little eye that you see flitting on it, you're like looking right at it, and you're used to seeing creatures with an eye up here, where like there's the slit with the thing shifting around it, but you don't see a pupil, and you see this slight little gap that occasionally opens in it. And you realize it's not an eye; it's part of its censoring apparatus, but it's not sight-based. Like, the outside of its body has these. Now that it's this close to you, hundreds of little tooth-like spines that come out of the sides of its body that protrude out like cat claws that begin to shift, and the rock around it begins to break away, and it almost like begins to gently burrow, like wading into water.
Say in everybody's heads. It's covered in teeth. It's covered in teeth. It's covered in teeth.
And it is coming. It's coming in your direction, like testing, like
Towards
checking around
me?
the room.
What do we do? We can't move.
I tell everybody to like hug the walls. Hopefully it keeps coming towards me because I want to like lightly navigate around it.
Okay. As you begin to slightly shift backward and move, as it kind of like sifts through the sand itself, and it begins to kind of run a perimeter of the room.
I'm trying to kind of like get any boxes between me and it, but like
It like bumps into one, and you kind of like shift around on the other side of it. Sips around, kind of scoots around past you, Imogen.
I say in her head, just coming for you, Imogen, just coming for you.
Should we give it any body parts again? Like a little snack?
Scoots.
It's
now
taller
past
than
you,
me, isn't
Fern. The rest of you don't see this, but there's a unique, like, Mission Impossible dance that Laudna's attempting to try and avoid its movement and hide off behind one of the boxes as it, like, snaps into things and smashes into other parts and does a little pass.
Okay.
And then you watch as it kind of, like, dips into the rock and just burrows entirely into the ground.
Wait, where's it gonna pop up? Where's it gonna pop up?
And like bursts out of the nearby wall for a second. Rock tumbles
Did
into
it
it.
hit any of us, or is it?
And then kind of like barks almost like a puppy up towards the figure at the top of the steps.
I need one.
It's not you fucking say. Nothing down here.
Whistles again, and the creature like kind of bounds up, and you watch as it bounds because you can see it. It's not really landing; it's kind of hovering and just kind of using the ladder almost like it's a fun little, like a bit of an obstacle course.
What the shit?
And
Hovercraft.
as he whistles, two more burst out of the nearby walls and kind of follow up behind it that you didn't even realize were burrowing in the ground outside of the tunnel. The one that kind of bursts out beside you, you duck out of the way, it kind of catches you in the side, but you hold your breath and it just burrows off and picks up and floats back up the ladder after the other one. Shortly after that, the one hits you from behind, bursting through the wall behind you, Imogen, knocking you to the ground, some of the rock kind of covering on you, and you instinctually like breathe out as it knocks the wind out of you for a moment, and you're like trying to catch yourself. The creature turns and focuses in your direction. Just creeps up close to your face.
It's like alien.
Opens its mouth and just bites down on your head, almost gently, like it's testing what's there. Pain surges through you as you kind of, not knowing what else to do in that moment, let this creature just bite into your head, rows of sharp teeth just digging into your scalp and the part of your shoulder. Do you do anything?
It's a love bite.
Nope. I don't want to do
Like
anything.
the world's largest tattoo all at once.
It continues to chew.
Oh my god.
It seems to have found something it likes, and just kind of like, almost like a small creature kind of gnawing on a toy, but then it gets the treat in the middle of it. It's like, and it starts tearing into you again.
Can I take out this Ryloran behemoth finger that I have and just slowly
Wiggle it in there.
Yeah, wiggle it in its mouth and try and slip it in and slip Imogen's head out.
I'm gonna need you to make an animal handling check on this, as you're trying to draw its attention from a fresh piece of bleeding meat to an old piece of no longer bleeding meat.
Did the other creatures already leave the thing? And
They
he's
did.
the only
Natural 20!
Yes!
No fucking.
On the Laudna dice!
Yes!
You watch as you pull the finger in the way and kind of like, it looks up at you. You can see like the blood streaks down the outside of its jaw, and you just see this kind of red mess that's the back of the unmoving Imogen's head.
Oh my god.
And you like instinctually grab the finger and kind of like hold it in front. And as you do, it kind of
Can I kind of trail it to the door a little bit and then just, kind of the direction the other one's going to get out?
you chuck it towards the ladder, and it just, and immediately lunges over, digging into the ground and catching it like a shark out of water. If the water was rock, being like kind of burrowed through. Takes it, the ladder gets bumped and like almost gets knocked out of the hole for a second. It makes a bit of a clatter above, and you hear some of the foot's like stepping over to the edge, and one of them's kind of looking in and can't see anything, holding the lantern again, like looking. It's like, "Hey, come on, what's going on?"
Go, please leave. Please fucking go. Please leave.
Like spits a chunk of the like partially chewed section, and then eats it. And it turns to look back towards where Imogen is.
Can I feel a box behind me? Is there?
From where you are, yeah, there is definitely like a box that got kind of shifted as it burst through the wall.
Can
yeah.
I try to get up onto the box while it was distracted jumping after the thing?
Mm-hmm.
While it was making noise and clattering around?
It turns back around.
You ready?
And like,
It's fine. It's fine.
and just goes
While it makes the noise,
over
the minute
towards
it
you.
makes the noise, I'm gonna reach forward and try to touch it.
Okay, as soon as you
And
grab
I'm
it.
gonna try to inflict wounds on it.
Okay. You go to reach towards it, and your spell grabs the empty space of the inside of its open gullet as it snaps over the front half of your body. The rest
the
of you
front half of my
just hear.
I don't like this.
You see now just the legs of Imogen kind of kicking outside of it.
Yeah.
So for this point in time, you've backed off to the side, and this is now right over here, and you are restrained.
Doggy balls.
Well, not restrained, grappled, sorry.
Well, they're walking away though.
Are they,
like,
though?
You said the two.
There was one-
Were
They were
walking away.
They were
They're
all
like,
walking away, and then when that one hit the ladder, some of them started coming back because they heard the clatter, and one of them's kind of looking over with the lantern right now, but can't see anything down there.
All right.
You can actually see.
I can see. I'm going to try to just quickly lead this. And I'm going to just tell everybody, everyone remain calm and shut the fuck up. I'm going to throw Fern as one of these creatures through the top of the roof.
Yes.
Amazing.
And I tell Fern, turn into one of those little tadpole-y things that we saw, but like Orem-sized.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
All right. Your body shifts into an uncomfortable state, and indeed, you are currently now the form of a slither.
Slither.
Or that. So you, sorry, you told her to do that,
I
and
want
then
to hold my action.
All right.
Then I want to toss Fern's ass up through the hole.
Okay. So you go ahead and like kind of drift, pulling her over while you hear the gnawing sounds of your friend being eaten in shadow. All right. So you hold your action for that. Darkness. FCG, you're up. What are you gonna do, buddy? You
killing
can't
this
see
thing,
anything.
I can't see, but I can hear. I've heard some chomps.
Yeah.
I'm going to quietly affix my coin to my palm, and I will use it to cast Guiding Bolt at 4th level.
Holy shit. Okay.
Which will not make any light because of the dark.
And that's all you hear.
Does it look like that fucked it up? Like, how many hit points do these things have? Hit points of a kitten? Does it look fucked up?
It looks hurt.
Okay.
Does that finish your turn?
Bonus action, I will sense Orem near me, and I will give him a D6. I will give him a bonded blessing to help him in his attacks.
Okay.
A D6.
So the one that's still on you is just going to continue to chew.
The cave is shaped like a heart because Matt loves us.
That's going to be, now that you're
Inside.
inside, it's going to be 17 points piercing damage.
Okay.
Okay.
And the grapple is maintained. It is just now like rolling you around in its mouth, like trying to chew and like throw you a little bit,
Great.
and catch you. It's like a creature playing with its food as it eats it.
Yay. I can still hear my thoughts while I'm inside of this thing.
Now say just for Evans too, because it's good. That poor girl.
All right. I'm gonna just get up there and
I help her up.
Okay, as you kind of throw, you kind of follow with the momentum. You find yourself almost kind of drifting and floating ever so faintly, and then suddenly the shadow emerges, and you're inside the room above, kind of gliding, and you realize you can kind of gently hover, not fly, but kind of hover just a little bit above the ground.
So cool.
There you see the figure standing there with the lantern, goes like, "Ah, what is going on?"
I'll just kind of move around.
As you emerge and come out the top, you.
And I'm getting an eye on, like I wanted to see who everybody is.
yeah,
so I
you can let us
tell
know what's
everybody.
happening.
Can she see?
So you don't see, you have blind sight. You can like feel movement around you, and in a very much kind of Daredevil-esque way, you can like make out the shape and movement of things around you. You do see, back over here, there's these two figures by the edge.
We have Murray Lawrence.
There's one back there that has one of those like bone wands with the crystal at the end, and what looks to be a shrike that is also emerging up here.
Shit.
There's also.
Oh, this would have been so bad.
You can sense them just outside the space.
This is happening.
This might be.
So you can like
There are
sense
so
they're shifting.
many of them.
There are two beyond that area, and then over here, in kind of the far corner, this, and I'm marking this one as a friend because that is technically Zesh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Putting green there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Zesh is just kind of back against the wall, like letting them
Zesh is there,
basically
but
toss
undercover.
over the place.
Okay.
You can see it's like shit's been knocked over, weapons have been falling off walls, the place has been rolled a bit. But as you emerge, the one is with you is like, go.
I'm just gonna try to like I'm feeling like there's something, whatever we're looking for is out the door. So I'm just like getting antsy, like a dog that wants to go outside to go pee. Like.
Okay, what sound do you make? Hell yeah. All right. So you begin to shift and turn towards this way. As you do that kind of like in this direction, you for the first time really feel those teeth kind of grow out, and you're like, that's weird. But as you do that, it's almost like a creature putting its spines up out of interest or anxiety or anticipation. And as you do, the two other creatures, they put theirs up too and kind of like shift over to kind of like look in the direction that you're looking, and the ones outside just kind of like hear the kind of sound and look over in your direction. So you've made your intent known, and it seems to be having some sort of reaction.
Oh boy.
Alrighty, Orem, are you doing anything?
Yes, I am. So I heard that go up, and I've heard the plan. So I just turned towards the darkness in the room, and in my head I'm thinking, covered in teeth, covered in teeth, covered in teeth. Covered in teeth. I bite the insides of my cheeks, and as soon as I feel teeth on my hand, I'm gonna start filleting this thing as fast as I can.
Okay. Your hand immediately, it's like touching the outside of a wall of fish hooks. Now when you touch it, because it's not, they're not out at the moment, it's like feeling the outside of the curvature. You can feel where the point is, but you're not dragging against the hook, but you can sense they're there.
Just made my hands tense.
Yep. Ooh. 15 for that one. 17 for the third. 16 for that one.
How do you want to do this?
I didn't even have to action surge. I just come in really fast, going
Fillet.
and push the roof of its mouth. I hope, back and toward the wall.
Yeah, as you carve into it with each, like the third strike goes through as it's already kind of falling out of its kind of telekinetically lifted self. As it drifts to the ground, you catch and kind of pull the mouth open in an image, and you finally pull yourself free. The pain released, and here in the middle of the shadow and darkness, you feel that surge of freedom and thankfulness kind of wash over you.
Then you hear about a foot away from you.
Don't shut up, Johnny. Don't fuck up. Don't you dare, Rich.
All right, that finishes Orm's go.
I would just reach over and put my hand over his puking mouth.
All right, the Slither Lord is
Enjoy your time here.
The Slither Lord's going to come by over to where you are and be like,
Hey, what do you see? What do you see? Where?
Just full. I'm trying to just put my teeth out as far as they can go. All my teeth.
okay, it's like,
Still pointing out the door.
I think they're on the trail. This place is done.
and the two other Rylorans here at the front that you can see kind of waiting there, kind of look at each other quietly, look back over at Zesh, who kind of like puts her head down, and they both kind of start walking alongside as the rest of the surrounding Slithers like start darting out the windows, out the front door, kind of pushing past and opening it. They all begin to like dart outward together as he's starting to prepare his exit.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
You're gonna have to live with us forever now.
All right, that brings us to Chetney.
I will hold my turn.
Okay.
Hold my action. Hold my attack.
This figure over here, who looks to be Vanguard, but also is wearing like a shoulder piece that looks like Kreveris, like they've begun to assemble, or at least try and cross the streams of maybe this person's been here for a little longer than some of the new recruits you've seen.
With my bonus action, I will do a Crimson Right just on my hand and get the little chisel like on fire in the darkness.
Yeah, which is, you hear it crackling on the edge. Finishing their go, that's up to you, Fern. What are you doing?
I'm still just trying to get them all outside. Like, I'm just going crazy. Like, come on, we gotta go.
Okay.
Muff, muff.
All right. So, are you just going to
Get out here,
glide
everybody,
out?
we gotta go. So I'm trying to wiggle next to everybody like
down the street.
Like I'm just getting excited,
Right.
so I'll start going out the door, but also just like not fully out there, but just kind of still staring back at them, like, come on.
Okay, so you drift outside and kind of continue that way. You can see the rest of them are kind of like looking back at you for intent. What are the rest of you doing now as you
The
feel?
moment that I feel them be like, all right, cool, leave, door close, I'll drop darkness.
Click.
How does Imogen look? Does she still have a scalp?
Yeah, she looks fairly rough, but you're not like, shredded with hunks of flesh hanging off or anything.
Oh boy.
I'm going to cast second level Cure Wounds on you.
And we heard the place empty out above. There's no sounds left, right?
For the time being, it sounds like it's emptied out.
All right, Orm's gonna sneak up and peek out the windows.
Okay. As you sneak up, you can see Zesh is currently like riding one of the tables up and looks over and goes, starts like setting up things, goes over and closes the door, goes and pulls these large swaths of like leather curtain to close the windows, kind of just open windows that are there. There's no glass in the windows themselves. They're left open for ventilation, but the curtains do kind of shutter it in before turning around going,
You all right?
I've gone through worse. I'm just surprised you managed to. I thought they had found you.
Honestly, same.
Yeah. Laudin is a genius.
That was very resourceful.
She steps over and looks down in the basement and goes like,
You killed one!
Is that okay?
It must be hidden.
We can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we have ways of doing that.
What about Fern?
Hey, I turn to Zesh and I say,
She can still hear us. She's, yeah.
How?
What are you doing? How you doing?
Give him a little bit of a.
I'm having the time of my life.
which coming over to you, Fern, now. You have a troop of 4 Imperium members and 1 Vanguard member and a cluster of 4 other Slithers that are all kind of wandering now through the neighborhood and looking to you for the scent you picked up. The one kind of Sasquatch-looking figure that looks like to be like the one that's kind of guiding them, the one that's kind of whistling and calling them around. It's going,
What do you see? Where are we going?
I'm just gonna do that thing where just like I lost the scent.
You've now led them down about 2 blocks away, and like the open streets of the Clutch are around you.
So if I just see a building, the nearest whatever I can see building with a door, I'm just gonna take off to it and start like barking and going crazy at the door.
Okay.
Like
You
I
just go-
found the scent.
The rest of you hear echoing this that sort of hunting call of coyotes or wolves that all gather in the distance, kind of echoing down the street edges. And for a brief moment, you're afraid maybe Fern had been found out or something worse. They all rush to the door, and the 4 around you burrow into the ground out of sight in the direction from underneath.
All right, I'm gonna do the same.
You burrow down, and it's like pushing through light mud. You burrow, and you think you're nearby, but it just keeps burrowing.
Oh no!
You're like, it can't be this long. So you kind of double back, and it's just more rock, and you're kind of not sure which way's up, which way's down. You're just pushing in a direction to try and find your way back. You are lost underground.
Oh no!
Hi, I'm on my way back. I'm just a little lost.
Lost where?
Define little.
Streets where?
I'm in the dirt. I'm in the ground, and I'm going, like swimming back through the dirt to
And you
but
shook the rest of them?
I think I lost them, but I don't know. It all looks the same.
I'm gonna cast Locate Creature
All right.
and sort of sense where she is.
Maybe just bring her back.
As you finish the spell, you immediately feel, you can sense Fern pretty straight down and a little bit away from the current position where you're standing in the middle of the shop.
Okay, go to the direction that you think is up.
All right. So I'll turn one way and just start going really fast.
You watch her descending rapidly.
Okay, you're going down.
Okay.
So go back the way you
I
came.
think I'm turned around 180.
It takes you a good 20 or so minutes, but but eventually you do manage to maneuver her in a very zigzag pattern.
Can I try to at least come through the floor of the...
You do.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually you push through ever so gently out of the ground.
Hi!
You did it.
Wow, it is wild going under the ground. I don't know how you do it. You can't even see anything.
We should move. We should move. We should get off
Yeah,
this
we should
edge.
go. We should go.
Yeah.
Zesh, is there somewhere safe we can go?
There is nowhere safe in this area. Not after all that. I guess for right now, this would be one of the safest because they are turned away from it. Perhaps, but best to be hidden just in case. But you should not stay long. They might be bringing others back to double check.
How much longer till sunset? Duskish. We should roll.
Maybe another couple of hours.
Okay.
Since we're killing time, you got some cool shit in here. What is it exactly that you do? And I'm actually just going to start looking at this shit now that clearly we're not being quite as chill.
We are crafters of the Ruidian glass. We make adornments, we make collectibles, we make weaponry, we make whatever can be made from the glass. The strongest of the glasses, the bits that are mined from the deepest, sometimes have unique properties.
And she kind of like looks over and like points to one of the blades on the wall and walks towards it. And as they kind of slit their eyes at it, you watch the glass kind of glow faintly.
What does it do?
It kind of glows when it's near a Ruidus born or someone of natural like psychic ability.
Oh. Have you been underground?
When I was younger, it was for a time easier to try and acquire these materials myself, but most of those mines are Imperium controlled, so.
Just out of curiosity, in addition to the mood ring thing, the mood gem that I was curious about before, could you? I'll whip out my saw blade. Oh, this saw blade, very cool. Doesn't do very much damage. Is there a way that you can make a blade like this out of your material?
Let me see what I can do. And puts her hands out to
I will remove it and give it to you.
Carefully sets it down, goes and puts her goggles arrangement on and begins to like sketch out what it would look like and kind of begins to go to work.
How much, what do you even sell these for?
We are what you would call a barter type system.
Okay.
Do you know what makes the glass? How it's produced from within the moon?
It's always been here, like all the other minerals. We don't make gold, we do not make platinum, we do not make glass. But we find and we mine it. The only renewable resource we have is bone, and that we get from hunting, from those we've lost.
Hunting? I thought I also heard those you've lost there at the end, kind of brushed over.
Some cultures on this moon remember our ancestors by crafting things from their remains to keep them nearby.
Oh, yeah.
For some, it's a keepsake. For some, it's for protection. For some, it's to protect ourselves.
Do you use their bones?
You watch as she pulls out this thin stiletto-like blade that is just this sharpened, looks like a femur that's been ground to this fine point. The tip is slightly broken, but has been filed into two separate points with like a groove down the center now. Like it's been broken and then remade in a way that still makes it useful.
I love that.
Love that. I would absolutely make weapons out of all of your bones.
These ones belong to my
I'd
father.
be happy to make them. Well,
I like this.
It's a great idea.
That's interesting. So what are your death rites? Do you bury people, or is it generally...
We take what is useful, and the rest we let the land reclaim.
I very much like that. I have these too. I don't know if these are interesting, and I pull out a handful of gems.
Kind of looks them over.
These are quite rare. You sure you want to be rid of these?
Well,
No, we don't.
What's the good of something valuable if you're not doing something with it?
She reaches over and takes a handful of gems and kind of rolls them in her hands for a second. Take what you need.
Orm will take the short sword that is made of this. The color is blue.
It's like a blue-green, almost like a turquoise-ish tint, and kind of changes in the light when you look at it.
He starts to slowly go through the Zephiratam. Yes.
It's quite light. At first, it feels off balance because the handle is heavier than the blade, but once you kind of get a feel for it, it feels like it has very little resistance at all. And you kind of like flick it, you can feel it kind of vibrate ever so faintly, kind of picking up resonance, the vibration. And it's interesting as you step and like walk, like as you're swinging it, you see it kind of almost glow for a moment.
Wow.
Then you look where it glows. You step a little closer towards Imogen and Fern, and as you step in that radius, that vibration kind of intensifies, and you can see it kind of give that faint glow.
I don't have any gems. Have you ever had one of these? And I druidcraft a strawberry.
Well, your friend's already paid for what you need in here, but I'll take as many as you're willing to give in the time that we have.
Do I see any type of like tiny, like stiletto daggers, like really tiny?
You see
Something
one that's a
small.
little larger than you'd want, but you think with a little bit of work, you could probably actually like carve it smaller and still be functional.
I take it off the shelf. Chetney, you think you can affix this to Sashimi's hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Puppet Master.
Amazing.
Matt, in addition to putting the blades on sashimi, I'm also going to make a second toy. Take an hour.
Okay, you can do that.
Hey.
Yes, Fern?
Yes, could you give me that? Could you give me that silver box?
Silver box.
Yes. Well, she's got Dispel.
I know, but just in case.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna go down there. Just in case anything happens, I'll go down there so nobody gets hurt.
How far away from it can you be in order
I can
to
be pretty
spell it?
far.
So maybe we set it on its own and then you do that.
And do your thing from the top of the ladder.
Yeah.
Do my little fiddling from there? Okay.
As the sunset begins to crawl near, the sound of grinding and shifting towards the back of the glass forge, you see Zesh working on both your saw and shaping some sort of a glass piece, smoothing it, until eventually you see her procure this beautiful little oval polished glass element. Turns to you and working together ends up loosely fixing it into your breastplate. To make it stay, she has to kind of shape the space inside, which is a bit of hammering to make the space. It's a bit of an uncomfortable experience, but eventually gets to fit it inside. And indeed, you have this kind of central gem now that sits in a way that complements your chest adornment.
That's awesome.
Zesh also lifts this blade. It has less teeth on it. It's almost like there are 6 major kind of, saw teeth along the outside, but they are incredibly jagged, like 6 like hooked shark fins just in a row around. And it has that sort of imperfect kind of, natural glass texture to the outside. You worry if it'll even work, but as soon as she hands it over to you and you see where it bolts in similar, she studied very well the device that you affixed to your arm and kind of did the best she could to make something function. She hands it to you.
Don't rightly understand how this functions with you, but this is the best approximation I could do with the time that was given.
All right, I'm gonna spin it up.
At first it kind of wobbles as it spins up, makes this kind of high noise, and then eventually it hits that perfect smooth bit when it moves fast enough.
Chetney, you need anything cut in half?
And just reflexively, I'll throw like a junk piece of like a square chunk of wood and just toss it up like a baseball.
It just cuts through it clean.
Incredible!
It's about this time that you see Zesh kind of looking through the window.
It's about dusk. If you're going to make this happen, do it soon before the next watch takes over.
Which way is it?
She points out towards not the direct center of the clutch, but kind of on what would be the left, further on the left. You can see amongst the dozen or so main towers that poke out into the banners. There's one that kind of rises above them all, this thin needle point of a tower that has a number of kind of banners that kind of drift and flow with the wind behind it as it goes. That one. That is the Overspoke. You'll find Erot there, likely for the next hour or so, so hurry.
We got this.
All right.
And
All right.
good luck.
Did we want to do the box?
Yeah, do the box, do the box.
That's right. You're in the middle of that.
So, at this point, finishing up, you cast Dispel Magic. There's a flash of runes, like this network of rune-like webbing that kind of appears around it, brightens, and then just seems like shatters, like magical dust that then just flitters away, leaving it dull and dark.
Okay, I'll grab it. I think it's gone.
Want to open it?
Yeah.
The interior is about maybe 2 feet by 2 feet, this box. And just wedged in there, just with almost no room left, there is something wrapped in like a dark velvet.
What is it?
You pull back the velvet and you see this hexagonal device with like grooves and kind of runic markings along the interior. You've seen and destroyed contraptions kind of like this at the base of the Malleus Key that were causing those like bursts of dispel in the vicinity, but those were like rougher. This is refined. This looks beautiful. Elements of it look polished. Other parts look like they've been kind of a little roughed up. Like the part that you see is beautiful, but you can see there's like some aging, there's some damage on the edges and corners. Like it's either had a rough journey here or it's maybe old. You're not sure.
I'll reach in and I'll try to lift it out of the box.
It is extremely heavy, but you're a fairly strong gnome, and you pull it up, and as you do, you can see the top of it is almost like a shelf. As you pull it up underneath, there's all manner of, like it almost reduces into like coils and additional bits of runic configurations around it. As you pull it free and lift it up, the rest of you see like it's not elven. But there's definitely like arcane design to it.
Can you read that?
Can I read the runes with my eyes of the rune keeper?
Indeed. This would be a very, very strong piece of abjuration magic. It's not constructed. The more you look at it, this looks very old, and a lot of the runes along the sides of this, you've only seen in one other place. In the inside of Imahara Joe's shop, when hanging on a chain hook, your friend FCG was laid bare, and you realize this is likely Aeorn technology.
Mama?
Oh my god.
Out into the night?
Out into the night.
Yeah, we gotta go to the tower.
Okay.
You aren't bothered by anybody that crosses your path, and few do. At this point, there is no sign of a storm, and it's actually a beautifully clear night. Using the description from Zesh, you eventually weave through the clutch and come to the base of a structure that looks like 3 different tiers of clustered homesteads along this tower with a kind of outer spiral staircase that just winds up, and you can see there are all manner of these tight stretched banners and bridge walkways that connect to other rooftops and nearby smaller towers that you can certainly attempt to ascend. It looks like there are 3 posted guards along the base that are just kind of walking, patrolling, and at the very top, it's like the tiniest little crow's nest where you can see those like banners are flapping in the light breeze. Even from that vantage point, somebody who has keen vision or somebody who can acquire keen vision under darker circumstances would also be helpful.
Oh. You can see in the dark.
I can.
Come with me.
All right.
Okay. The rest of you kind of post up out of the way. The 2 of you. Any preparation before you approach?
I've guided her.
Do you want to leave Pate with us or no?
It's a good idea. I'll
Yeah.
tell Pate to go invisible and stay with them, so I have eyes down here.
All right, so we can start making our way Up the stairs.
As you approach the base of the steps, one of the patrols comes up to you and immediately kind of like comes up in a huff. You can see they are having these kind of heavier gray robes that are wrapped around them. And at first, they look like they're kind of lost in them, like they're a little too big for their size. And you realize this is a younger Rylorn. And you see this is probably like a newer recruit, probably in your early 20s or so, runs up and kind of looks at you a little wide-eyed for a second with recognition. And just speaks into your mind like, I didn't realize you were coming.
Yes, I need to get to the top.
Of course. Steps aside and kind of look at you can kind of sense the dark eyes kind of looking at you out of the corner. Kind of
in his head he's gonna hear, "Stop looking at me."
And I'm just gonna kind of fall into this role like I'm her bodyguard.
Yeah, doesn't even acknowledge you. It's
Great.
just kind of and loudly swallows as you begin to ascend the steps, kind of curving around. You ascend the ever-climbing tower, and it becomes kind of this perpetual spiral that begins to grow kind of exhausting. At a certain point, you've now climbed 7 or 8 stories of just spiral stairs, and you feel a sweat beginning to creep into your robes. As much as the temperature gets much colder here at night, like it's quite a heavy drop in temperature, you still find yourself hot from just exertion of getting up to the top. But eventually you kind of clamber towards the final bit of that tip where you can see the basket-like crow's nest peak of the overspoke sits. And there's the singular point goes to like an actual like spike point to the very top. As you approach, you can see those kind of blue glass lanterns that are fixed all throughout the city that you see occasionally like hanging from places. They're dull, but as you step underneath them and get within a certain radius, they
That's
glow.
so cool.
And you immediately begin to get the sense that maybe these lanterns are proximity-based. As soon as they glow, a voice goes into not the air around you, but the minds above you. Hello? Who's there?
Erot?
Yes? And you kind of look up and you can see over the edge, there's someone kind of looking over down at both of you.
What does he look like?
From what you can tell at a quick glance, Rylorn looks a little hunched, kind of lanky looking. Looks like he's carrying some sort of like a book in one hand that's just kind of like clutched in an arm and has like straps and what looks like a heavy spyglass and like a walking stick kind of leaning up the edge.
I need access.
What for?
It's none of your business.
And gives you a look.
Of course, I
Bless you.
Stop it.
I serve the Imperium. Yeah.
And he like closes the book, quickly hides it, and like takes the walking stick and stands up and kind of sips to the side as you both continue to ascend the steps till you get to the peak of the interior where he is, and he just kind of stands there.
With my back to
Big,
him.
like, toothy grin.
As we look out, he's gonna hear in his head, Erot, this is nobody's business but ours.
Kind of gives you like a keen turn to the head.
Of course.
And I'll just turn my back and look out.
Okay.
Erot, I need your spyglass.
Of course.
I'm just gonna use my telekinetic hand to just pull it over to me and
Sick.
Boss bitch.
and hand it over to you.
All right. I'm gonna do a scan. I'm gonna try and knowing that the Volition is gonna be like on the outskirts. I'm gonna try and go far and see if I find something that looks like this on the outer rings.
While she's looking, I'm just gonna turn around and stare at him so I can see what he's doing.
Within 3 minutes of doing a scan, like many of the banners here, a lot of the color is just washed away from sunlight, from dust and storms, and a lot of Kreveris, the surface city, has this kind of just dull reds and browns and grays to it, just kind of washed over with time to where there's not a lot of color that pops, which does make it easier to catch your attention to what looks like a single purple flag tiny little flag that's off in the outskirts by this like massive, what looks like a pile of freshly excavated red and brown dirt. You can see what looks to be some sort of a metallic gate that's pressed into part of the rock wall on what would be the far right-hand side of the city's encased like crown of mountain range that the valley it sits in. But you can see this little flutter of purple flag that kind of drifts in that area.
I think I found it.
Oh, so great.
And I pass the spyglass over to Imogen and kind of like guide to see if she sees what I see.
It takes a moment to find it, and you do figure it out. And at first you just want to make sure to compare and contrast, so you kind of scan other areas to make sure there isn't like other purple that's bright or anything. But indeed, there's like you find flecks of color out there, but a lot of it's muted with time and erosion. Indeed, this does stand out.
All right, I guess we got what we need.
We head back down.
All right.
Killer.
All right, so you, following the directions of the two of you who got the bird's eye view, you definitely begin to carefully dive and shift from shadowed alley to shadowed corner. You eventually come upon the exterior of what looks to be the dump region of an excavation tunnel. You can see there's a few like small buildings on the outside with like lazy bits of smoke where it looks like either workers or guards are posted to keep watch. As you begin to come across the exterior of it, you see from inside one of these little kind of hovels with the smoke trail, a figure comes out with a big, thick cowl on. Himself an older one of those like kind of Sasquatch figures. He has the big kind of cowl and neck, and the cloak is kind of thrown over to the side, and he has one of those like bone wand rods, but it's like long and it has like the glass crystal at the end, and he emerges and kind of like, "What is your business, if I can ask? Step away from the dusk pit unless you're here on Imperium business."
Is this where the purple fabric
You can
is?
see the flag is affixed to the top of the structure that he emerged from. Just kind of like,
This weapon that he's got, it's the wand. That the glass isn't at the end. Is the glass at the end?
there was a piece of glass, and it looks like a large bone, almost like a rib bone from some massive beast. And as he kind of holds it like a rifle, and at the end there is the crystal kind of pointed. He's kind of just holding it there.
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say you're not gonna need that weapon. We're not here to challenge you or anything. By the way, it's a very finely made piece.
We're acquaintances of Zesh.
What's in their thoughts?
They are extremely nervous.
Okay.
Friends of Zesh, I think I know of this, makes good glass stuff. Huh? Yeah?
Yes.
I actually have a few criticisms of the Imperium.
Are
I
you
don't know
loyal
anything about that.
to the Imperium? Are you loyal?
Looks at you and just like you see his face drop and goes,
I am doing my duty.
I asked him that, but I want to hear what's in his head as he's answering me.
right now in his head is, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. But in his head, you sense just abject terror.
I am not who you think I am. I'm not my mother.
Looks, finally like breaks eye contact and looks over at you, looks at your sword, looks back at you, looks at you again with that kind of curious, what the hell are you sort of look.
Do you have a chair? Maybe we could take this inside.
Yeah, let's step out of the let's step out of the road.
Yes, please.
Just kind of steps inside, looks out through the window. Once you all kind of pull in, it is a bit of a tight fit. Closes the door.
Why is this into what's your mother? What's going on?
We're friends. We're friends of the Volition, and we were sent to find you and to find
Me?
Well, not you specifically, but your people.
It's like, I don't do much.
What's your name?
My name is Emido. Watcher Emido. You're Exandrian, yes?
Yes, we've come a really long way.
She's your mother?
But we're not allied with her.
No.
What is your intent then?
To stop her.
We know of some of the Imperium's plans, and we're not aligned with them. In fact, the Imperium has done a lot of damage and wreaked a lot of havoc on Exandria. We're not against Ruidians.
He's like nervously like pressing his thumb against his tusk, almost like to just have just a little bit of pain to kind of keep his attention focused.
We want to help you all, but we do not approve of the way the Imperium has been going about things.
Yeah, there's people in Exandria who are working with the Imperium to the detriment of both places. I think we might have common interests here.
You should talk to Rashina.
Where's Rashina?
Rashina of the Golden Hammer. She's the current head of the Volition.
And where are they?
I'll show you the way, but I can't go with you.
Please.
I have to stay here to make sure nobody finds it. This way.
He kind of steps out and looks around while holding the door there.
If he pulls a secret latch, I'm gonna be so happy.
There's like this like faint whistle, and someone emerges from the other little hovel off to the side, rushes over to part of the metal gate. You hear the jingling of metal, and then the gate shifts open about 1.5 feet, and then he darts back inside the hut and goes,
Don't go as a group. Give a space of time between each entry. Close it behind you.
Should we take these off, maybe?
Once inside? Yeah.
As I get in, I start like taking
Getting
the
naked.
reds off.
Oh, okay.
Trailing one at a time.
Scratching my nips.
one at a time, you all kind of
My human
take
flesh
moments
off.
to step within the subterranean tunnel until eventually you've all passed through the gate. And a moment after the last of you steps within, you hear the gate. You can see that kind of loose dust and dirt and gravel and such have been pulled up and kind of left along the sides, stuff that's kind of tumbled off from whatever carts and elements brought it up. You continue to scoot down, it levels out a little bit, and as you kind of come to the base of that one descent, kind of hitting a few rocks with your feet, voice goes, "Who goes?"
Friends of the Volition.
Prove it.
We pull out the head
The evidence we want.
The Juggernaut.
of the Juggernaut and just toss it. Yeah.
And a foot kind of catches it in the shadows. You can see the figure kind of lean in. You can see they have a hood up. And they kind of glance past it, kick it back, and kind of comes to rest.
Thank you.
Tongue lolling out. It's starting to get a little soft at the edges.
There's for Rashina to decide.
Walk with me. And the figure turns around, and you can see they're carrying another one of these. It looked like a cannon almost, like a hand cannon wand, if you will, with the crystal at the tip. You continue following. There's a couple other tunnels that kind of merge with this one from off to the side, almost like they're starting to come to these nexus points. Until eventually you come to a large door. It looks like it's made from wood, but you haven't seen a lot of wood sources in this area. This has this kind of rough, gnarled exterior to it, and you watch as part of the door kind of pulls back and opens, kind of like a false window is pulled away, and the figure looks out. There's no conversation for a moment before the figure in the hood goes and nods and turns back.
Well, either you're telling the truth, or you die tonight. So, good luck.
You watch as the wooden entryway peels away to reveal an opening. Ooh. It's not a hinged door. It seems to kind of ungrow in a place, if that makes any sense, kind of pull away. And beyond that, you see a figure kind of holding their hands out with like a faint kind of green glow on their hand. You step into the next chamber, and it is a plain, open, antechamber-like cavern. Maybe about 20 feet tall, about 60 feet wide, and a multitude of tunnels that kind of splinter off of it. You can see some more of those lanterns kind of hang within, kind of glowing and lighting the space. And there are probably 4 other figures, also similarly hooded and shrouded, kind of sitting at different corners, posted with their own series of weapons, like great swords that look hooked and carved, that kind of affixed to their back. And as you kind of step in, many begin to step out. 2 dozen figures begin to emerge. They're kind of forming a rank around all the other tunnels. And you're starting to get the sense that they're essentially going to be enveloping you as you step in. And they do. As you begin to walk into the central chamber, you are immediately surrounded by now what looks to be about 35 to 40 figures total. Whoa. As they surround you, you can see the shapes. Like some of them just kind of, with the low light that's here, you can see they look humanoid. Some have the Ryloran crests. Some are tall and lanky. You can see the shape of the Shrike creations. You can see a few of them are massive, hulking figures. Looks to be Ryloran juggernauts or like physicality, all kind of just wrapped and covered and trying to stay unrecognized in their intentional attire. It is a motley crew of figures. You see one standing figure that is where is it hidden there? A green-scaled dragonborn that is heavily armored. They all kind of just stare at you quietly as you step in, all waiting for something, before eventually some of them part in the middle, and one figure approaches, pulling her hood back, and you see this kind of powerful, stoic-looking female Ryloran. She looks a bit gaunt, but serious in her face. She wears a breastplate of what looks like hammered metal. You see swinging at the side of her belt what looks to be a kind of brass, gold-colored mallet or hammer of some kind. That just kind of clings gently against her leg armor as she steps out from the rest of the crew. Her crest splits into 3, almost like flower petal type designs on it, and you can see there are all manner of tattooed designs that kind of merge and splinter off of it. She approaches, and not telepathically, but speaking as you speak. Who among you would you consider to be your leader?
Boy, that is just the craziest question.
I know. we've debated this. We've talked about it a bit.
Who speaks for you, at least?
I literally push Imogen by the elbow, forward 2 steps.
Mm-hmm. I do.
You. And there's this kind of like a faint, hushed clenching throughout the whole chamber as you kind of step into the light a bit, and everyone sees the coloration of your hair and the designs of your scars. And all the lanterns kind of flicker brighter as you enter the chamber. You're of her lineage, are you not? This Timot?
I'm her daughter, yes.
As you say that, the whole room shifts and you hear the sound of weapons being pulled from sheaths. You see glowing green glass begin to glow from all corners of the shadow in your direction. Tell me what it is you intend before we strike you down and leave you in ashes.
We want to destroy Ludinus. We want to destroy Odahan Thul. We want to destroy my mother. And everyone who would seek to control the people of Ruidus.
But we have your assurances that you are not a puppet, an instrument of the Weave Mind.
Yes.
Make a persuasion check.
That's fun.
Okay. 27.
27.
She said that so flippantly.
Each of you feel peered into, peered through, judged, spiritually chewed and spat out in a matter of seconds, like you've been read for filth front to back.
That feels dirty.
Quietly.
You like it.
Yeah.
Like a little teeny bit.
Before she steps back a bit onto her back leg and crosses her arms in front. Well, I believe that you believe that. And that's something, at least. Very well. You want to know my intent? Our intent. And she turns around and walks back towards the crowd that parts.
Do we follow?
You do.
Yeah.
You do. We're all in.
You fall in and step behind her. And as she walks, you see one of the hulking juggernauts kind of steps and kind of joins her at the side, kind of looks back at you and kind of still untrusting, kind of cracks his knuckles at the side, but
What's up?
continues walking.
I crack my knuckles in return.
Those are my knees.
Towards the opposite side of the chamber, you can see there's a mass of glass that is opaque and kind of barely exposed at the edge that kind of covers about a 15-foot section of wall. As you approach the edge of this chamber to where that glass wall is, you watch as this figure kind of raises her hand across it, and as she does, the glass, its opaqueness vanishes and becomes somewhat translucent, like a window that is revealed with her fingers. And as it does, you are looking down from the ceiling of the most incredibly large chamber underground that you've ever witnessed. You see this perpetual, mind-blowing expanse, this open space that is filled with hundreds more bridges and structures and archways. You see all these little bits of carved stone that bind together like a hive, a network of caverns that all bleed together into this like massive, heart-like cityscape. Thousands, tens of thousands more people could live here. This is the heart of Kreveris.
Wow.
This is the city. And sitting amongst it all, this singular spire of faintly glowing glass that rises up the center of it, like a tree trunk, where all of these different paths all connect to and weave around. What we want is inside there. The 5 minds that have enslaved us for hundreds of years. That glowing heart of this city. We aim to bring it down. that's where we're going to end tonight.
Oh, no, you can't!